time for tea time.
Yay.
We are going to talk about mother-daughter relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We have a special mom here with us today.
Does your mom guess?
Brr, 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 brr.
Love it.
So maybe we'll start off with, what does being a mom like? Well, first of all, so now that both of your kids are grown, so, I am younger than Chanel, but I'm grown. and, and my brother is, wait, how old is he? I think he's like 14 months older than me. Is that how that goes?
Yes.
Yeah, so he's 14 months older than me. So we're like stair steppers. Do you still consider yourself our mom? Or like, how has it changed from like when we actually lived with you?
Yes, I still consider myself your mom. I know that if a bug shows up in your
Oh
house,
God.
So Mama came to throw shade on today.
you're not gonna call no exterminator. You're gonna call your mama. You're gonna pick up the phone and whisper, tell me I need to come over. And first of all, I'm thinking there's some burglar there, but later on I find out it's a bug.
Right, that is
So she
True
whispers
stories.
and yes, have you come over and kill a bug.
Oh,
It's so
Grown.
funny.
grown.
Grown.
It's so
Grown
funny
woman.
because I saw this one meme and it was basically like a dude calling his mom every 5 minutes for just dumb reasons. And I was like, that's so funny. Like, I feel like I do that. Like, I remember last year I got a flat tire and I called you and I was like, what am I supposed to do? And you were like, did you call AAA? And I was like, and tell them what? And you were like, that you have a flat tire. So then I called them and then I called you back and you were like, so what did they say?
Hilarious. See, you need a more adult.
And see, that's the thing. Like, so then next question. When did you feel like an adult? Because Chanel and I, like, we're grown, like we're in our 30s, but we don't feel like we're real adults. Like, when do you feel like, okay, I'm a real adult, I got this? Or do you still call your mama? How about that?
There
do
we
you,
go.
Do you call your mama and be like,
I need help.
now what's the recipe again? Oh my God, there's a bug. I got a flat tire. Do you do that? Since you got so shade on me, I came from somewhere. The apple can't fall too far from the tree.
I actually don't. I do not call my mama and tell her to come kill a bug. No. I was gonna tell you about your brother too. He calls. He'll call you for stuff too. He called me one time and he wasn't feeling well. So he's like, Ma, something wrong with me. I was like, you want me to call the paramedics? He was like, no, I want you to come over. I was like, okay. I was like, the paramedics can get there a lot faster than me because I like just woke up. So
Lord.
yep. So I had to get dressed real quick and be a mom and a paramedic at the
At
same
the same
time.
time.
So yeah, both of y'all still
That's
do
so
that.
funny.
Yeah. So
Dang.
that's both of you who still.
That is so funny. And I know I'm guilty too. I don't call my mom to kill bugs, but I do call for everything.
Look,
Like,
I don't care who you are. You could be a neighbor. You could be somebody walking down the street. Let me tell you something. If there is a spider, I need help.
yes. Emergency.
Emergency. Or I have to abandon ship, and now the spider owns the whole house. So
Man, that the
Look.
lease says spider resident.
exactly. They're gonna be like, you stopped paying your rent. I'm like, oh, it was sublet to the spider. You didn't get the memo. That thing was sublet.
Yeah,
I
he gonna
can't
pay
look.
rent
Let
for
me tell
now.
y'all something. Look,
My God, these are true stories, guys. There's no fabrication.
yeah.
This is true
If
stories.
you ever want to see me flip out,
Yes.
act the fool.
Yes, that is so funny. But I do have a question for you, Mama Barbara. So for me, I'm a mom too. So I had JR when I was 20, turning 21. So I had just turned 21. So I'm still pretty young. And now I'm a mama. And I was like, WTF? What is this about? So how old were you?
This human being just came out of me.
Listen, and I'm still like 12 years later, like WTF? Like
Still
it was traumatic, right? Like, it's like, dang, that's my child.
You're like, I'm shocked.
I'm shocked. Like, I'm a mom. This is crazy. But so how old were you when you had your first kid? And what was going through your mind as a new mom?
I had my first kid at 25. I was excited. I remember when Brian was born. I was married at the time, and I had my husband follow the doctors in the room after he was born because I wanted to make sure nobody took him. I didn't want him to get mixed up with nobody else's baby. I was like, make sure my baby comes home with me. I didn't, you know how you watch these movies and people switch the babies or whatever. I was not gonna let that happen. So I was protective, like immediately, like right away. I didn't want, like I said, nobody else to take them. It was a lot of responsibility, getting up every hour, every 2 hours, but I enjoyed it. I mean, of course, my body was in shock because, like you said, you just had a baby, you're trying to heal up, but at the same time, you just immediately go into mother mode, whether you know what you're doing or not. You just automatically go into mother mode, and you figure it out one day at a time.
Yes, 12 years later, I'm still like, what's it
So did you ever, like, when did you feel like, okay, I got this mama thing on lock, like I'm mom? Or were you like, why are these kids keep calling me mom?
Yes. Or do you think like the commercial where they're like, first kid, like you're super overprotective, you're doing everything by the book, but then second kid, you're like, come on, I got this. Like, I know, I don't need to follow the book anymore.
Well, I was told by my dad when I was growing up that I played with a lot of baby dolls. So he told me as a child, he knew I would be a good mom because I took good care of my baby dolls. That's how he, put the mother and the child aspect together with me, because he said I was good with the baby dolls. And I think once I had Sherry, I already kind of knew what to do, but they were very close in age. So I think when she was born, I knew what to do, but I was not getting enough rest. I wasn't getting enough sleep because she was eating like every 2 hours. Brian was a toddler. He was walking around the house throwing books in the bassinet because he was a hater. He did not like the fact that Sherry was there.
Like, take this baby back.
That's what he was saying.
But take this baby back.
Throwing books in the crib, and then he would go to the closet and throw all my shoes out and had those all over the living room. And I would just go behind him and clean them up, put everything back the way it was supposed to be. But I mean, I think eventually it grew on me, but having two children very close in age was very challenging. But then I enjoyed it because I remember, I think before they were two, I remember I was babysitting family members' kids. So I had like my own little daycare going on. And that's what I was doing at that age and that point in time in my life. I was working with children. So that was just who I was. I liked children. I liked working with children, taking care of them. So it eventually became natural to me.
Oh, that's what's up. So so first of all, I didn't realize y'all was that close in age, 14 months. Like, that's really, really close.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that we were twins.
I was just about to ask that. So was it a lot like, are they twins? And, having a house of 2 under 2, I'm sure that was a lot.
It was. People didn't ask if they were twins. I think that, like I said, it just kind of fell in line. You know what I mean? The thing that I didn't like was having 2 babies in diapers. So I don't remember how old Brian was, but I was very determined to get him potty trained because that was too much, 2 kids in diapers. So that was a goal that I set, and I did eventually accomplish it. It was a challenge. It took longer than I wanted it to, but that was the part that I think that I kind of, if you want to say, maybe didn't like. I didn't like that I had 2 kids and Pampers at the same time.
Child, I believe it. Diapers expensive?
Yes. Well, back then it was cloth diapers.
Oh, you gotta wash every day?
They had cloth diapers and they had Pampers. And Brian, or was it Sherry? One of them, I couldn't buy the cheap ones. I had to buy the top of the line Pampers. I don't remember.
That's right, Sherry. She's very sensitive.
Very sensitive
skin.
Yeah, so I had to get the best for her. And that was, like I said, that was why I came to the conclusion.
The top shelf.
Top of the line.
Top shelf diapers.
She couldn't get the little
and
cheap
I'm
ones.
just like that with tissue now. I'd be like, how many ply?
That is so funny. Child, no. I started with Pampers, which is like top of the line, but then we quickly got to Love's, the cheapest one, because we was like, who gonna keep buying this, bro? Like, we're out. So yeah. Babies are really expensive.
Yeah, they are.
So yes. But no, that's really cool that they were 14 months apart. And yeah, I definitely see that in your spirit. I wish, I would have brought JR to your house where you were teaching the little ones. Let's go on over to Mama Barbara house, Jay.
That's so
Hilarious.
crazy. So I was talking to Adrea today, and I was telling her that you were going to be on the podcast, and she was like, every time when you told me about your mom, you would tell me these crazy stories, and you'd be like, "No, I can't do that. My mom's gonna cuss me out." Da, 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 da. And she was like, "So I really thought your mom like was a certain type of person." She was like, and then I met her, and I was like, "Oh no, she's so sweet. She don't even cuss.
Oh
Where
my
did she
gosh.
get this from?" And so I had to tell her, I was like, when I was a kid, I was really shy and I was really sensitive. And I was like, if my mom, because I told her, I said, my mom doesn't really yell or scream, like she's very even tone. I was like, but if she like got serious, I would be in tears. So to me, she was like cussing me out. Like if she'd be like, "Now don't let me have to tell you again," I would be like,
Just break down.
Traumatized.
right? I'd be like, "Not tell me again." No. Like,
Did you have to do a lot of disciplining with them growing up?
Actually, no. They were
Mhm.
very well behaved. They were the kind of children that anybody would take anywhere.
Mm.
And they would tell me that they didn't even know that they were there. I mean, they had a chance to go to Disney World
Nice.
because they had very good behavior. I mean, they went on a lot of trips, places that I haven't even gone.
Mm.
And it was all because of their behavior. They were both very well behaved. I don't even really recall having to whoop them. I mean, I remember, like she said, I would threaten, I would yell, but I never really had to.
Mhm.
I do not recall if I did whoop them. I don't remember because
there was this one time I told y'all
Here
about
she
it a couple
go.
episodes ago.
Hilarious.
I don't know if there's a statute of limitations or not. but-
What had happened to you?
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Tell
it.
us
Discuss
about
your
it.
traumas.
Yes, tell me about it.
Because you know we're the Oprahs. So
Yes,
good
now,
news.
I seem to recall Mama Barb. Now, look, this is my perspective here. Okay, so you tell me if this is accurate or not, but this is how my memory serves me.
Okay.
So I recall that I didn't have not one whooping. Okay, I was like, hey, living my best life, right? Out here, just beautiful skin, just not a blemish or nothing, because never been touched.
Yeah.
But my cousin Tennille, who at one point in time you took care of, she would always, and I think this is why I probably was always like, like if you tell me to do something, I'm just gonna do it. Because she would be like, "This one time your mama gave me a whooping." Oh my God. Like, and so, I had made it through 9 glorious years
Oh,
of
dang.
being an amazing, obedient child.
You got your
And
first whooping at
then-
9?
Let me tell you something. We moved and we were in a new neighborhood, and I had this great bike, and I was out here in the neighborhood, in the streets. The street was calling.
The streets was calling.
And you said when the lights come on, and see, we was in a new neighborhood, so it was new. And my other friends were still out after the lights. I don't know what was going on with they moms. They was black too. They know the rules.
Listen, that's a black
They rules-
commandment.
But-
They rules on what your mama said, though, obviously.
But apparently I didn't come home fast enough, and then you sent my brother out looking for me. And then when I came home, you was doing your whole, and like I should whoop your butt. And I was like, you always say that, but you don't never do it. Like I don't know what happened. I don't know what came over me.
You said what? Like,
You
I'm
was
like,
talking-
Portia? Who said that?
First of all,
Who said that?
I want everybody to know that my mama got up like she was about to whoop me again.
You was talking slick to me?
Right, because I'm like, who said that?
You was
Right, because I don't even do that, right? I know.
Uh-oh.
But in any case, all I know is I was in my room and you was in your room, but we was talking back and forth to each other.
Oh,
And I thought that we was just talking. See, I didn't know that you could actually follow through on the threat.
Oh, you found out, huh?
So then you came in my room, and then I was like,
today. She gonna learn today.
And then I don't think I ever played outside again. I never rode my bike.
I never looked at a
You
street light.
traumatized from
To
that
this
day on.
day, every time I see a bike, I'd be like, kids, save yourself. No, don't do it. Don't.
Make sure the house after dark.
Look,
Better get in that house.
let me tell you something. So yeah,
Oh my God.
and then I never got another one again.
You love your
Oh.
first and your last. You ain't wrong.
Okay.
Listen,
Look,
you gotta
I'm a
be
fast
smart.
learner.
You a
Okay,
fast learner.
I'm a very fast learner.
Mama Barbara, do you remember that? Do you
I
remember
think I
that?
do. Now that she mentioned it.
Fool me once.
Yep, I
Shame
do
on
remember.
me. You ain't gonna get me 2 times.
No.
Tell you that.
Listen, I love how she let you keep talking in your room.
But you know what she was doing the whole time?
finding the belt?
I'm talking about the raggedy leather.
The finest belt.
I'm talking about the belt had crosses in it.
That's the only way you can get a whooping.
Like, I was like, first of all, I've never seen this.
She had to find her whooping belt.
I didn't even know you had a belt.
I've never seen you with one.
Right.
Because mamas have different belts. It's like, this is my cute belt.
Yeah.
But then it's a whooping belt.
Exactly.
I'm talking about when I tell you that I had never seen this belt before in my life. To this day, when I see a brown belt, that's my
mama's whooping belt was brown too.
I'm telling you, I think that this belt had been handed down from generation to generation. I think it was my ancestors' belt.
It probably was.
I felt them crying out.
Yes.
As I was crying out.
She was looking for, and it was probably back deep in the closet.
I mean,
she had no reason to
because I never used it.
Like maybe she like went in the attic or something. Like I was like, first of all, because we was going back and forth for quite some time, and I promise, I just thought I was like, because you know, around 9, you start to get a little bit of a tune.
It's a little sassy. That's a sassy.
It's a little bit of an attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I was never a child. Like I don't talk back. Like I'm not slick with the mouth. I can be, but I don't actually do it. Like I think some stuff in my head, but I'll be like, look,
don't say that,
because you have to be responsible for the things that you say.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I learned that day. Is that whatever you say, look, you can apologize all day, but you're gonna have to eat them words.
Oh yeah.
And I said, I will never.
So you had one whooping in your whole life. That's not bad.
That is not bad.
It was a top shelf whooping.
That is not bad.
Top of the line. Okay.
Top of the line.
That is so funny. No, that's good. I feel like I was a good kid too. But I could think of like 3 whoopings that I got. That was like, whoa. Like, whoa. Let's not get on her bad side.
Whoa.
Ooh,
I felt like after that whooping, I was like, I think my mom goes to a secret butt whooping class every Friday night. Like they meet, there's like a consortium of women who talk about the type of belt, the type of leather, how to incite it in your kid, like how to do it. Like it was like a whole technique that I didn't know was there. So after that, I knew that my mom was in a gang.
Listen, hey, the mama gang, the best gang that you can be in.
That's
the
gang.
Mama gang. I love that story. That is so funny.
So if the feds pull you over when we leave here, you know, because this is live, so anything could happen.
I mean, it's a statute of limitations.
Her name is Barbara B.
It's statute of limitations. You're good. You was 9. You older now. So I think she's good now. Hilarious.
But yeah, I just know that after that it never happened again. And like when certain things would happen in the house, like this one time I accidentally broke my mom's lamp. Me and my brother was wrestling, we was playing. I broke her lamp and I just was like in tears. I was like, oh my God. And he was like, I'll just tell her that I did it. And he always would do stuff like that. He'd be like, I'll just tell her that I did it. But then when she would come home, she wouldn't even whoop him.
Oh, Lord. So I was having all that anxiety.
So then I'd be like,
you didn't get him?
Like, did I waste it?
Right. Goodness. Jeez. Come on, brother. So mad. I love that. But thinking back to, you know, you had this nurturing spirit with your dogs. Where do you think that came from? Like, what gave you that sense of nurturing?
I'm not sure. I just think that maybe I just had a love for babies, maybe. You know what I mean? Because I like to comb their hair. I like to get them dressed. I remember I would bath them and stuff. I think I just like nurturing, like you said, just taking care of them. So maybe it was just something natural that I liked.
Oh, I'm just gifted and talented.
I know, right? And then you had a boy and a girl, so it's like perfect. Like, all right, I got.
You know, one thing that she always said was they don't make nothing else.
Right.
Why have more kids?
You got one
boy, one girl, done.
Hey, you are not wrong there. Like, this is all God created. So we're good.
Right. Exactly.
Did you ever want to have more kids?
I think if I would have stayed married, maybe. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You could have seen yourself having more children.
I probably could have.
Oh,
could
have some little siblings.
No.
Listen, first of all, me and Sherry are both babies. And yeah, that's out. Because we were the last and the best picked and the last made.
Yeah. Yeah, because even with my step family, like I had to
Mhm.
tell them, like I understand that y'all are younger and all that. However, I just wasn't raised as a middle child, and I refuse
Yeah.
to be a middle child. So I don't know what that means to you, but I know what it means to me.
No, I'm the baby
So if
over
we're
here.
going to blend this family, I need everyone to agree.
Touch and agree.
Yeah,
That I'm the baby on both sides.
I'm the baby.
In my bonus
Just so
family
we're all clear.
and this family.
I'm special. It's a big deal when I come around.
There.
You know, lots of attention.
There we go.
You know,
All of that. All
and they
those
agreed
things.
to it, so all was well.
Hey, all's well in the world. I love that. So as your kids were growing up, what's one thing where you was like, didn't see that coming or didn't see this in the parent handbook? Was there anything that you were like, now I gotta figure this out? Like what is this?
Well, being a single mom and me having a son,
Mhm.
it was a challenge there because there's things that I didn't understand about raising a son. And there was a point where he needed his father, he needed a dad.
Yeah.
So when I got to that point, I would send him to my dad's house. You know, he would spend time with my dad. My dad sort of taught him how to work and taught him how to earn money. And I don't know what else they talked about or did, but that's when my dad would step in. You know, I would call him and be like, Dad, I don't know what to do. I'm about to throw Brian out of the window. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, like, help me. So he would be like, okay. So, yeah.
Around
That
what
was
age
the-
was this? So I can make sure JR bags is packed and ready to go to his daddy house. What age is his
What
cousin?
is that what they say when puberty sets in?
Ooh.
I'll say 13,
Oh,
14,
no.
teenage.
Oh no, we're almost there.
That's coming pretty quickly here.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when a mom, you know, she can only do so much.
Yeah.
And if you're not a man and you can't relate to them on that level, that's when they need their dad, a father figure.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could totally see it coming in my own kid. Like just his mannerisms now, and he don't want me to come in the bathroom. Just like little stuff. Like I try to give him his privacy, but I'm just like, no closed doors in my house. Like I need to see like what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But he just spends a lot of time in the bathroom now, which is like, what are you doing? Sorry, JR, I love you. I'm telling all his business, but it's like it's definitely coming.
Now, next time I see him, like, so you be in the bathroom, huh?
Listen, all the time. I'm just like, oh my gosh. And you know, I gotta check his phone because now the kids got phones. So you gotta check their phones and see who they DMing and texting. And I just be like, here we go. There'd be a lot of stuff. I'll just be like, look, no. So yeah, trying to prepare myself for what's to come as he becomes a teenager. Yeah.
Interesting. If he, you know, it would be interesting for me to be a teen now with my mom her age because I don't think she would understand the apps and all of that.
Yeah.
So I would be like, that's not that.
Listen, you'll be living your whole cyber life.
I would just be a big liar. I would be
Listen.
like, no, the phone don't even work.
Yes. I couldn't imagine having an older parent, like some of these kids who have parents that are not like 30, because parents are real young now. I mean, I'll be like, dang, I'm older than your mama. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So they be really young, but like, yeah, to have like a more seasoned parent, they wouldn't know nothing about these phones. But I'd be all in there like, let me turn this off. I'm gonna set this so you can only be on here a couple hours a day. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
So.
mama wouldn't be able to say nothing. So I'd be like,
that's my friend, Mama.
I would be just swiping and snapping and
doing everything.
All kind of stuff.
Ooh, thank God we are not teenagers right now. Like, ooh. I couldn't imagine being a teenager right now though. Just the better stuff they got, like the contour, the makeup is better, the clothes are better, like everything is better.
Yeah.
The hair is better. Like we will be out here being tight. So with our teenager bodies too.
Yeah.
Listen.
I'm like, yeah, take us back there.
I mean, listen, we would have been some hotties out here. So yeah, hey, you know what's happening. But yeah.
Well, yeah. So then, what was like when you think about being a mom? What's like the story that stands out to you? Like, what's like the most memorable mom moment?
Let me see. Well, I think being a protector mostly. I just know that I wasn't going to let anybody bother my children. If somebody did something to either one of you that I didn't like, they were going to have to deal with me. You know what I mean? I wasn't like a mean person or a violent person, but I wasn't going to let anybody mess with me.
Y'all gotta watch this YouTube.
All I know is there are a couple days where my mom woke up and chose violence.
Hit the violence button.
If nobody asks you about violence, you say, I mean, I wasn't violent or anything.
Then that's how you know they chose violence. Oh my God. And I could just see it too.
So when you said that, the first thing that came to mind was when me and my brother was in high school. And I don't know what happened, but I remember everybody in school was like, your mama was up here today. Your mama here today. And I was like, hey, what is going on? Listen. Something happened with my brother that apparently you did not like. And you felt the need to let them know that you did not like how your son was being treated.
Well, my son told me that some boy on a school bus, you know, back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a different story. I ain't even talking about that.
This is the
I'm
time.
Talking about high school.
Well, I'm talking about and back in the days, boys wore a braid in the back of their hair.
A tail. Mm-hmm.
Right. And Brian came home one day and his was cut off.
Oh,
and he told me a kid in school did it. So of course, I went up to the school. I talked to the principal. I talked to the teacher. I want to find out who was this kid who cut my son's braid. Anyway, long story short, Brian lied.
Oh.
I think he cut it himself, but he didn't want to tell. I think he didn't want to wear it anymore.
Oh.
And he didn't want to tell me. I don't know if he didn't want to disappoint me. I don't know the reason he wouldn't tell me.
I think you didn't want him to have it, and he begged you to get it.
I don't remember what happened.
And then he didn't want it no more.
Oh, and then maybe he didn't want to tell me.
And so he didn't want to tell you.
Right.
So
but I know the bottom line was he was the one who cut it. And like I said, I wasn't having nobody messing with my kids. So I think I took off work or went to work late. Like I said, I went up there and I'm trying to find out who cut my son's hair.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out it was him.
It was him.
Yes.
Did he get a whooping?
No.
Look at Jerry.
He didn't. No, we talked about it because, like I said, you should have just told me that. Yeah. You know, I'm thinking somebody picking on you, somebody bullying you, or whatever.
You about to get somebody kid beat up.
Yeah, I'm up there. I'm talking to the principal. You know, I'm like, who is this kid? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he could have just said,
hey. He gave a name. He threw somebody under the bus.
I don't think he gave a name.
Oh,
I think I went up there. Maybe that was what made me go.
That is so funny.
Yeah, maybe he didn't give a name, and I was going to find out who the child was.
Okay, I was gonna say, ooh, Brian, you threw somebody under the bus. They was gonna die that day.
No, he ain't gonna throw nobody under the bus.
Okay, Lord,
she was trying to throw somebody under the bus.
Somebody was about to get it. Listen, that is such a 90s story. Like everybody used to have tails. Those are so cool. They're actually coming back too. That's so random.
Oh no,
but yeah, tails are coming back. That is so funny.
Was there anything that you were like scared to do as a mom? Like any mom fears?
Well, I think that sometimes maybe I didn't make the right choices at different times. You know what I mean? When maybe I think that as you guys were growing up, I just feel like it all happened so quick. You know, and I know that it was a challenge for me because I was single. There were times when I had financial hardships, and there were times where I couldn't really give y'all what I wanted to give you, or there were times when I wanted to live in a better place and, you know, have a better school, better neighborhood, better car, you know, different things like that. Those are things that I wish could have been different if it's something that I could have changed. But then I think back to the way, you know, it all played out. It actually wasn't that bad. And I think that, I don't know how you guys saw it. I don't know if you looked at it like, oh, my mom is struggling, or my mom can't afford this or can't afford that. I do remember a point where I worked 2 jobs, and I didn't like that I had to work the 2 jobs, and you guys kind of had to take care of yourself because I was working 2 jobs. And I really didn't like that. I wish that I was in a better financial state where I could have just did the 1 job, but I needed the 2 jobs because I didn't have enough income.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was something that I could have changed or could have done different, I wish that I was more financially stable. And then, things would have been better in certain ways. But then again, like I said, I don't think it was just horrible, but it just would have been better.
That's good. No, that's a good one. And Sherry, what's your perspective on that? Like, do you feel like that? Like, oh, when they're growing up, like I felt like my mom was struggling.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Knew. So I was a very aware child.
Okay.
I know that a lot of people they're like, oh, I didn't even know we were poor or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it was just the norm. I was very aware.
Okay.
Like I was like, as soon as I could start working, I would work. Like I'm gonna make my own money. I'm gonna buy the things that I want. I think that I don't know. I just wasn't that type of kid that was oblivious to things.
Yeah.
So I think that for me, I was very much like, oh, like I hate that my mama got to work. I wish I had this. I wish I could do that. Like I definitely, I definitely was feeling like that. Like I felt like I was a burden, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it was very apparent to me. So I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's fair. And you are very much like that. And you did start working fairly young.
Yeah, the legal age to work in Wisconsin was 14. And right after I turned 14, I got a job at the only place in the city that was hiring a 14-year-old. I could only work 3 hours. You couldn't work past 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I thought that was wild. Like seeing y'all Upper Brown like going to work, and I was like, they got jobs.
Yeah.
What?
We made $5.15. That was my first hourly wage. I was like, what can I do to not be in this situation? You know? And so I remember when Upper Bound came to talk to us and they talked about going to college and stuff like that and being first generation. And I was like, where do I sign up? I made really great grades in high school, because I was just like, how can I do this? Right. Because while I was very aware of the situation, I didn't feel like it was your fault. Like I just felt like, dang, like what, like, well, I think for me, it really manifested itself as a lot of resentment towards my dad. Cause I was like, why would you do this to somebody?
Yeah.
Like it didn't have to be like this. But there were some things that was going on with him that I didn't quite understand at the time. So
yeah,
I think that I was just like, why would you like make my mom struggle like this?
Yeah. Yeah. And at the time, again, being 14, like you don't understand those things. Like you have the perspective in your head, like, well, you did this, but like we talked about on previous episodes, and you start to discover that he was sick, basically. Like he had an illness. So then Mama Barbara, did you know that she felt that way?
Somewhat. I know that both of them, Brian got him a job. He went next door to, there was a barbershop next door to us, and he went over there and asked the guy if he could work for him, and he allowed him to.
He was working illegally like a
that is so.
He did.
He had no permit.
I think he was 14 or 13. He did. He went over and he asked the guy if he could clean up his barbershop, and he did. He started working really young, and like I said, we were struggling. You know what I mean? It was some hard times, and like I said, the job that I was working, it just wasn't enough. And like I said, eventually I got a second job, and it got a little bit better, but it was still a struggle. So, and like I said, I know how I grew up as a child, and I know that you want your children to have the best. You know, you don't want to just spoil them rotten, but you want them to have the best. And I know I was not able to provide the best. I did what I could. And I know that, like they had good Christmases and good birthdays or what have you, but there were times that I just couldn't give them the best. Yeah. So I was aware that it affected them.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yes. So I guess along with that, my question would be like, so you said those were some things that you wish you could change. If you could change them, you would change your financial limitations towards your kids. But what's something that you feel like you had to sacrifice as a mom?
Well, me working 2 jobs, that made me had to sacrifice being home with them, daily. I felt like I was gone 90% of the time because I would leave one job and go to another job, and then I would work my second job on the weekend. That was a big sacrifice because many things could have happened to them at home. They were teenagers, but it's still just, I just didn't like that they were being left at home. That, I didn't like that. And that took away any time that we could have had together because I spent it working. And like I said, it even on the weekends, I was even working. So it just took up a lot of time and it just made things go faster where maybe in the evenings I could have been home. We could have been maybe doing homework, watching TV, playing games, whatever, families do as a family. But instead I had to work.
Yeah, man, that is the truth. And I definitely get it. Seeing my mom, like, I feel like I was a little more oblivious to it just because I be in my own little world. But like looking back, it was like, yeah, we was poor. And I'm like, I don't even know how my mom did it. And it's funny, well, my sister is 7 years older than I am. So she was definitely like working and doing whatever, like kind of supporting herself. But then there was me, and I'm like, my mom literally worked at Burlington. And I'm like, how did you support us working at Burlington Coat Factory? Like, how do you even
They're more
do
than great
that?
coats.
Clearly. I'm like, what kind of benefits did you have, Mom? Like, how was we even living off of that? Which is so crazy. But that's the power of moms. Like, y'all make it do what it do. And I still don't get it. And I'm a mom. Like, I couldn't imagine.
I don't get it either. Because I'll be like, look now. I make lots of money. Okay?
I got the money.
And I still be like, this ain't nothing.
Girl, every
so
time.
I have no clue. I'm like, what drugs were you selling? Because this is not it.
It got it. That's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, this. Mama's got to know about bricks and everything because I don't know.
Moms, like, they take $20 and they like do some type of magic. And then it lasts for a whole month. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I just don't coupon, if I don't sales shop, or I don't know. I don't know what the code is.
Yeah.
I just swipe.
Well, definitely listen.
Look.
I'm a mama and I be swiping. And it ain't getting me anywhere.
Because I be thinking, like, I'm just one person taking care of me. Add in more kids. And I would be like, there's no trips. We're not going anywhere. Like, girl, I don't know.
It is such a weird thing. And I think it is that, I don't know, like mama blessing where you could just make it last. Because I was like, how am I doing this with JR?
I think that is a mama blessing.
Yeah.
I think it's a mama blessing where like somehow it just works out.
It's such a surreal, crazy thing because I'll be looking at my checks like, all right, I'm gonna make this stretch. You got camp, you need some new basketball shoes. Like, we gotta make it work. And thank God his dad is present and there. Like, I always gotta shout his dad out because I'm like, I couldn't imagine being a single parent. I'm out on a single parent.
Like, I think that I was very aware of that too. Like, I was like, Lord, don't like, I'd rather never have kids like than be a single parent.
Like,
well, you make a lot of sacrifices. There's things that maybe you, instead of you getting something for yourself, you're going to make sure your children have it. You're going to make sure they have their school clothing, their shoes, whatever it is. And now that I look back at it, I know that God was with me. I know that he blessed me. There were different people that would do different things. There's a friend of Sherry's that her mom recently passed away, Diamond. And her mom, I remember when Sherry was growing up, she and Diamond were friends. And it would be times that Diamond's mom would call and say, hey, I want to pick Sherry up. Can we go here, go there? And I would say, no, I don't have the money. And she would say, just bring her anyway. She did that multiple times. And I don't think Sherry knew or Diamond knew that I had said no because I didn't have the money. But that was a blessing. She was one of the moms that was single as well. She understood. Sherry didn't miss anything because she always allowed her to participate regardless of whether I had the money or not. And there's just, different other blessings that just came about that the Lord provided. If I didn't, like I said, they went to Disney World for like a week. And when they were growing up, and my uncle was like, they were so well behaved. He was like, I
Yeah,
didn't
we
even
remembered that
know.
one whooping.
Right.
Who about to cut up in Disney World when your
No,
mama
but-
crazy?
You
But
have to tell
who-
me again. I remember that brown belt.
Right. I was like, I know she's Scorpio. Ain't nobody got time for that.
But
Mm-mm.
who invites 2 children to Disney World? I mean, they went and they had a luxurious time.
We did.
They did. And that's what I mean. There's times that my mom took them out of
Yep.
town. And like I said, these are just hidden blessings. Well, not hidden blessings, but these are blessings that God provided that kind of made up for the struggles and for the hard times. Somebody else would provide.
That's
God
right.
would have somebody else
Yep.
provide,
Put in the right people in
the right
your
place.
life.
Shout out to a
Mhm.
single mom circle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's so funny because I remember people also doing that for me. Like I remember this one time I wanted to do karate so bad. Like I was just like, yeah, I just gotta be in karate. Like it's gonna be so fun. And my mom was like, girl, no. Like you are not doing karate. And she probably didn't have the money because you had to get like a uniform and the little belts. And she was like, I'm not paying for that, bro.
We talking about that brown belt.
Right, not the brown belt. But I did get a brown belt. I think it's like one of the first belts you can get. So my mom was like, no. But my aunt, well, who's like my aunt, but her and my mom were good friends when my mom came to Milwaukee. She was like, "Man, like I'm gonna pay for it. Like, don't worry." Like, so that is very true. Like, it's this network of other moms who know, they understand what you're going through, and they like, we gonna help each other out. We gonna make it right. Like, my mom is not even from Milwaukee. Like, she's from Chicago, so she came here knowing nobody but this one person. And they was like ride or die, like helping each other all the time.
Mhm.
So
And honestly, that's why when I feel like I see a mom struggling or something, like I'll offer like, oh, I'll watch him, I'll do this, I can work from home, like I can do this, I can do that, because I don't even want people to have to ask. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of people have pride. And
they
people,
won't ask.
And then people feel like they not being a mom if they need help.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, I know people was helping my mom. My grandmother, my dad's mom, she had us every single weekend. And my aunt
Shout out to grandma.
When I tell you that my aunt was the best aunt in the world, like she would get the gang of cousins, me and my favorite cousins, every weekend, and we would go to the movies, we would go skating, we would do everything under the sun. We would be kicking it all day, all night.
Shout out to aunties. Yeah, that's like my auntie Monique. Every summer I was in Chicago, like for weeks. Like you going with them, you gonna stay with them. She would take us everywhere. Like there was nothing that we didn't do. So yeah, shout out to the support systems of single moms and just working together. That's what it's all about. Like working together and making it all happen. I love that. That's what's up. And I think about that too. So since you said that, I'm for JR. No, I'm just kidding. I'm for JR.
I be offering. I'm like, I'll go to the games. I'll do this. It ain't nothing.
Jesus.
Because well, first of all, I don't have kids. And second of all, like I said, I thought my mom was a single mom. So even if the mom isn't necessarily single, and I just be like, okay, this looks like a lot. Like let me try to fill in a little bit of a gap here and there.
I will be there. No, you definitely do be there because I've had birthday parties for JR and you there setting up stuff, like helping. I'm like,
you're like, this is just this is a lot. This mom thing just seems very involved. So
like you really don't get a break from this thing. No, like 24/7 forever and ever. But no, I love that. So thinking back on your life now that you're about to graduate, so do you think right now, like, well, at least maybe you don't think this, but Sherry Renee and I both are like, we just want our moms to live their best life. Like that's our goal, for you all to live your best lives. So do you think right now that this is your time to live in your best life?
I do. I'm really excited about graduating. It was a long journey. And I feel like it took me about 6 years to get to the finish line.
Girl, same.
Yeah. I mean, I went part-time. I thought about giving up, thought about quitting, but thank God.
You made it.
Hey, in 4 days.
Oh, yes.
It's all over. But I do want to live my best life. I was blessed to have a very, very great birthday this year, thanks to Sherry Renee. She took me places I've never gone before, and they were surprises. She don't trust her too much.
She really don't
anymore.
She don't. When I tell y'all, she don't trust me at all.
Like, where are we going? What is this?
Is it a flight?
Yeah, when we was going to the comedy show, she gonna call my brother like, so what else she got? Do I need to pack? First of all, just do what I told you to do. Just follow instructions.
Now you got her traumatized. Like, what's about that?
Well, look. Okay, let's just look. This is payback for that daggone brown
Right.
belt.
Listen.
You traumatized me. I traumatized you. But I'm gonna traumatize you with love. How about
There you
that?
go. I'm gonna flip
That
it
was
up.
love.
Listen, that whooping was love because you ain't gonna talk back to me.
That was love.
I
And
like-
it's so funny because the second I'm gonna have kids, I'm gonna be like, and this one time you're the grandmother.
Nah, it's gonna come at you full circle where your kid gonna be like, "Mama, I said," and you gonna be like, "Who said that?" And then you gonna lose your mind. It's gonna come back to you,
Nah.
Jesus.
But it's so funny because I feel like, and Chanel, thank you so much for coming on the trip with
yes.
us.
Yes,
But
I was not missing that.
I feel like you were a little bit resistant at first. Like, I feel like you was like, but then I feel like you started to get excited about it. And it's funny because I was telling Chanel and them how I had a COVID scare, and you gonna text me like, don't you mess up my birthday. You said, look. And then like 5 hours later, she's like, oh, by the way, are you okay? You don't care if I'm okay. You just told me don't F up your birthday. That's what I heard. She didn't say it that way, but that's the way I heard it.
I don't even care about your results. So
Right.
I'm still going.
Look, listen, now,
Right.
look now. I'm going on this trip with or without you.
Hey, either you coming or I don't know.
You said, so me and Chanel going?
Hey.
Okay, yeah.
Listen,
You quarantine.
you gonna stay
Chanel
back
and
now.
I are going.
But we
I'm like,
are
all
out
right.
here. Okay. I love it. And I love that I got to experience your birthday. I'm glad Sherry Renee invited us. We had a good time. Like, that was like top 5
We
trip.
did.
Like, we had so much fun.
Girls trip.
Girls trip, even though it was like kind of in the midst of like stuff was still kind of shut down. But we still made the best of it.
We did.
And I think we all got to experience things that we've never experienced before. And I think that is gonna be with us forever.
Yeah.
So I could never like not think about how amazing that trip was.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was amazing.
That was good times. Good times for sure. And I'm glad that now you have this, the light at the end of the tunnel with graduating, and you can truly live your best life. Because you've done a job well done raising your kids. I think they're both great. I might be a little biased because I know them. But I think you did, I don't know if you tell yourself this, but pat yourself on the back, give yourself a hug, kiss your brain, all that good stuff. I'm a teacher too. Because you did a good job despite everything and the way things happen. But look at your kids. They're great.
I think about that too. I look back and they're not in jail.
Exactly.
They have good jobs.
Right.
Wait, was that the
What was funny?
Right, she not in jail. All right.
Just like,
No, but I'm just saying there's so many.
But hey,
listen, I mean, they're still alive.
No,
Like,
well,
okay.
there's mothers who have
But
to
that's
go
true.
visit their
That is
children in
true.
That's
jail.
true. That
You're
is
not
true.
sick, you're in good health.
yeah, that's
You know,
That's
there's
true.
there's a lot to be thankful for. And like I said, they were not bad children. They were not. I never had any trouble with them. And I'm excited and happy and thankful for how both of them turned out. I think Brian is an awesome dad. I love how he nurtures his children. He takes really good care of his children. He's a hard worker. He had some challenges when he was growing up, and thank God he's strong enough to work, and he overcame the challenges. God blessed him to where he's a strong man. It didn't look like it was going to be that way when he was younger. So it's a lot to be thankful for. And yeah, we had a lot of struggles growing up, a lot of challenges, and you just never know what you're going to encounter when you're raising children. You don't know what's going to happen as far as their health goes, as far as your health goes. You just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen in any situation, not just health, but anything.
Yeah, that is so. You don't know when a brown belt gonna come out. Like, so many unknowns.
That is
So many
true.
unknowns. No, but I agree though. Like, I think as a child, I had a certain perspective, but then as an adult, I was like, oh, I couldn't have did this. Like, my mom is the best mom. Because look, there is no way. I'd have been like, look, come get your kids.
Listen here.
Let me tell you something, sir. You don't make me a single mom.
Listen,
You're the single dad.
I know that's right. I'll tell you what.
Let me tell you,
dropping these kids off now. I'll tell you that now.
Like, I don't know.
So wherever you think you're going, you taking
exactly.
these kids with you. Okay?
Let me tell you something. Right. You think just because you don't have a womb, like I should. No, No, but for real though, like I just think like looking back over so many situations, like especially with my dad having an addiction and all of that, like I just don't think that there was any way. Like my dad relapsed a couple years ago, and I lost my entire mind.
Yeah.
As an adult with no kids. So I just feel
That's
like
very
if
true.
that would have been my husband, and then too, like just the whole way that things happen with y'all, doing everything right?
Yeah.
Like getting married and doing everything God's way and all that stuff. It'd be like he just went off the deep end, like out of nowhere. Like I just think that I would have been completely devastated and just I don't even know how I would have even began to try to pick up the pieces. And then I would be like, why do I have kids with this man? Like, you know what I mean? Like I just think that, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to like just bash my dad because he's done an amazing job overcoming all of that. Because look, if I was him, if I happen to fall into an addiction, I don't know if I can come back because I can't give up carbs. Okay.
Girl, and I can't give up chips, so
if I can't give up carbs, then I don't know how I would ever give up an actual drug. So I don't know. Like honestly, I just really feel like our family has just been very, very blessed because I just couldn't imagine, like I said, as a child, I had a certain perspective, but as an adult, I'm like, this was literally hell.
Yeah. Like that's
like if my mom just made everything work somehow. I don't know how, but
and it could have been
because I feel like kids that grew up with my story, they would have ended up in a foster care system.
I was about to say it could have been worse, a lot worse.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like they would have been, the siblings would have been, split up.
Or the other parent could have gotten addiction. Like you never know.
Absolutely. My mom always said, look, to deal with somebody who's an addict, either you have to be one or you're crazy.
Yeah.
Those are the only, so I absolutely feel like my life could have taken a different turn, but I was always like sort of an aware child, and I was like, so how can we not do this?
Right. Yeah.
Like what's the gateway out?
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to pursue that. And I think that for me, like the way that manifests itself is like with guys. When I meet guys, like I want to know who. Like the other day, so my sister sent my stepmom this video of this guy who's a heroin addict, and he got shot, so he had to take prescription pills. He got addicted to the pills, and then eventually he moved on to heroin. And he has this open wound in his arm where he injects himself, and it looks like he has a flesh-eating virus. And he got high before the taping. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it after." Like he was like, "I came from a good family. I wish I didn't do this." He was like, "But this is who I am. Like this is my life." He was like, "I know I'm hurting my family, but yeah, I'm about to." And he was like, I stick myself right here because I get high faster. Like, and he looks like if you couldn't see his wound, he looks like a regular person. So like when I meet guys, I'd be like, I need to see your demons. Yeah. Because you can't, like, I feel like my dad pulled the okie doke on you. Like for real. Like that's a switch up, like that's just such an unexpected turn. Yeah. Like for better and worse, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Look.
When you don't know those things and you're like, whoa, like this is left field.
That's crazy.
Like, how did you get here?
So, according to statistics, I was supposed to be on drugs.
Absolutely you were.
Never go to college.
Yep.
And,
pregnant, had some babies.
All kinds of babies, all of it. The whole shebang.
Right.
So, I'm very thankful, and I'm thankful for you because, like I said, I don't know how you did that because I don't know. I don't think I could have did that if I'm being honest. I would have been like, look, foster care system, do your best.
Right.
I'm out.
I'll pray for them.
No, my children were not going to foster care. No, that was not an option.
Hilarious.
No,
that was not an option.
That's funny. No, it's the strength of a mom because I'm sure you would figure it out because that's what mamas do. They figure it out, and like I said, it's that mama blessing. Like God just really covers moms the best way he can, especially if they have people around them that's going to actually help and nurture and support them as well. So, you have some mothers who are trying their best, but then they don't have the people around them to kind of guide them and steer them in the right direction. So, yes, I'm thankful.
Thank God for help.
Listen,
Thank God
your tribe is everything. And I know any mom, all the moms I know at least, like, they talk so much about their tribe and the people around them. And when I see moms who are my age and they don't have people, they're like, I always got my kid. Like, I was seeing a lot of stuff like I don't feel appreciated on Mother's Day. I was like, that's so sad. Like, why? Like, how and why did you get here? Because I'm very thankful for my support system that I have. Like if it wasn't for my mom, like taking care, like my kid never went to daycare ever, not one day. He never went because he was with my mom all the time. Like my mom took care of him. He was with her. I got to finish school because my kid was with my mom all the time. So it was just like she would take him in his stroller, even if she had to get on the bus one day, my mama took my kid somewhere and was like, he gonna come with me, we gonna make it work. And I was just like, who does this?
But she said, this ain't nothing but a little struggle.
Listen, this ain't nothing. So yeah, shout out to mamas, because my mom is definitely support system. My friends who are just like, y'all show up. If ever I'm having something for JR, y'all be there. So that support system, that tribe is like everything. Or even just sharing like good news, like my kid got good grades on his report card. Y'all be like, yeah, that's great. Like, turn up, JR. So you need people like that in your corner, people who will support you and guide you and make you better. And I'm glad, I have that, and I'm glad you have that, and I'm glad your kids are a part of that for me. Like that's tight because that's some of the work that you did within them. So that's tight.
I know, because she be trying to call my brother. Did I tell you that?
Listen.
She be like, so how's our brother doing today? And I be like, look.
Our brother, because I just met my brothers not too long ago. That's another episode.
Oh, Black families.
Black families, child. Oh my gosh. So thinking about final thoughts, where are we at?
So what goes into Go Box? What are we taking away from today's episode? So I'll start with you.
Just moms are just amazing. And there are times where I do, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all because I wouldn't do that. But I definitely take my mom for granted, and I'm just like, all right, she's just there. But every time I like reflect and think about it, I'm like, your mom do so much for you that people are wishing that their mom was still around to even do those things. Or people are wishing that they had, a relationship with their mom. So it always puts me back in perspective, like, you're lucky because, even my mom didn't grow up with a mom. My mom's mom passed away when she was 18, so she didn't have that experience. So for me to have my mom here, she's, healthy in her right mind and all that good stuff. I need to not take her for granted. So that always comes into the forefront of my mind. So love you, Mom. I know she's going to listen. My mom is so funny. She was like trying to act like you, like trying to pretend like she was you. It was so funny. She was like, I listen to y'all show every night at work. And she was like, I'm Sherry Renee. And I'm Sherry. So she's going to die when she hears this.
I love it.
I was like, you are so silly. She was like, I just love y'all. Then she was like, y'all be like,
we do. We really do, though. That is so funny.
Mom, you're funny. That is what I'm taking away. Love your mamas, because you only get one mom, and they're not around forever. So don't take them
contrary to popular belief.
I know, right? Yeah. No. So don't take your mama for granted.
So where are you taking away, Mom?
Well, I think I'm taking away. I'm sitting here and I'm reflecting about how blessed I was raising y'all. I really do sit back, and now I can, really see how God was there for us, and He didn't forsake us. He made ways out of no ways multiple times. So my takeaway is thank you, God, for blessing me to get through those years, because it was hard. It was challenging. When I got married, I thought I was going to live happily ever after with maybe got a dog. I had a son and a daughter, maybe get a dog. And how you kind of got your little vision of how your life was going to be. And it did not go that way. And I had a lot of support. As I kind of think back, like you said, your grandmother, she was, there wasn't nothing I could ask her for that she wouldn't do. Sometimes I wouldn't even ask her. She would just call me, and she always had something for me, whether I needed it or not. And like you said, your Aunt Linda and just, a lot of the Simmons family, they were so supportive. I love them for always being there. They still treat me with love, and they played their part. They made up for what your dad didn't do. They filled in the blanks. They were awesome. I really, really love them, and I really thank them for what they did for me during all of those difficult times. And anybody else who helped me, if they're listening, I want to say thank you, because that was hard for me. It was devastating the way that my life turned out. you know, as far as my marriage went. I did not see that coming.
Mhm.
But I do thank God for that. So my takeaway is thank you, God, for blessing me to raise two wonderful, beautiful children.
Love it.
Aw.
I love that.
I should have went second.
For real. Like, how do you top that? That was great.
No, but my takeaway is just that, you know, I have the best mom in the world. You know?
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is. No, but like honestly, like when I think
Aw.
about both of my parents, so like I said, you know, my dad, he overcame a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and he is one of those people who would always say, like, I'm done, I'm getting my life together, and then like go right back to the same thing, you know. But that's what addiction means, right? It means beyond your control.
Yep.
But I'm just grateful that he never gave up, right? That he always had it in him to strive and to just even desire to do better, you know. And one day he got it right, you know. And you can only do that if you keep trying, right? You fail when you stop trying.
Yeah.
And so I think that I developed his resilience. Right.
For sure.
Because there's a lot of things that I tried and kept failing, but I just kept on trying.
Keep on doing
And
it.
here we are, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for that. And then for my mom, like I said, I think that she got the burden of everything. You know, I think that, you know, in retrospect, it really just wasn't fair, you know, the way that her life turned out, and she just kind of got like almost stuck in a bad situation. But I think that, you know, I think that if I were her, I don't think I could have done it that way. I don't think I could have done any better. I think I could have done a whole lot worse.
Girl.
I think that I would have done a whole lot worse. And I think that it built up certain characteristics in me. You know, it made me really be intentional about a lot of my choices that I make, and you know who I align myself with, and just like thinking things through and future planning, and try to, you know, even though you can't always predict the outcome, but doing everything that I can to at least say that I made the best decision for me. So I think that it made me at an early age think long term, you know, like what's up around again? How can I do that? How, you know, what's a different path here? Like it made me strive to break a lot of generational curses and try to set forth a new pattern and a new standard in our family. And I think that that is a big undertaking, you know, but I think that watching my mom and her, the characteristics and things that she has, and I'm like, well, this is nothing compared to what, you know, she had to do. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that it's, you know, it's one of those things where I just got to be grateful, you know, like I just have nothing but gratitude. Because, like I said, I don't know. I don't think I could have did that. Like, I think I would have been like, I'm out. Like, I don't know. Like, I think mentally I would have probably shut down.
It is a lot, but once, you know, that.
So, yeah, so I guess my takeaway is that moms are really like precious jewels. Like,
for lack of better words, precious jewels.
Jeez.
I agree with that, man. Like moms are something else. Like it's just angels on earth, man.
I swear.
Yeah, like in real life, like angels on earth.
Make a dollar out of 15 cents. I mean, I don't know. I can't. I've been trying. Look, I don't know.
I don't even know because I just be like, what? How? So I'm definitely in awe. I definitely love and respect moms who've been moms in the game longer than I have, because there's so much to learn. And, you know, I'm always open to soaking in some wisdom that, you know, I don't know, because I say I'm a fake mom. I'm a real mama, but I'm just like, I need a mama.
Yeah.
Like a real mama.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Right. All right. So thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties podcast. Until next time.
Peace.